All right. Well, welcome back, and welcome to, by the way, our first coronavirus session,
Thank you.
as well as I hope everybody is okay at this time.
Yes, mostly,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
And you?
Great to hear.
Everything is fine here. Now, the other interesting thing about tonight is that it is the first official meeting of our study circle, Studia Circle.
Great.
So, therefore, you are all officially in attendance to our study circle of the creative processes of role playing. So, of course, all we have to do is play. We can reflect on it later. Okay.
All right.
So now we have our characters in this village. And I showed you the picture last time, and I don't think I really want to do a tedious process of step by step coming to the village and talking to this person and that person. And I want to do a little bit of a skip ahead, because the fact is there's nothing difficult about arriving. It's not like arriving is a problem and that we have to solve. We're better off just being there now. You arrived, I believe, dirty, somewhat bloody. And
Just one question, Ron.
Yes.
The little girl that we had with us.
I'm
Okay.
about to. I'll get
Okay.
there. Yes.
Okay. That's it.
And so thank you for the reminder, but I'm on it. You arrive dirty and bloody with a small child, and I believe that Urko was able to connect with her best, and she you have learned her name, which is Leng La. 2 words. And so all you really know is that the what you kind of had already figured out, which is that particular set of buildings or outlying areas from the village had been attacked by the insect people, and she had hidden. A lot of the people had hidden, but many of them were found, and she was not. So when I say found, I don't mean in a good way. So as far as she knows, few people, if anyone, from the village has come across the river to examine things. And she's extremely hungry, and clearly it's been, a while, a few days at the very least. So that is one thing. Another is that people are surprised that you are here, because there have not been there has been some complications in the usual functions of the village. There have not been boats traveling, and there's been the raid by the insect people. That has become much worse over the last year, which is why the fence has been put up. And the people from the outlying areas were just there they were supposed to come inside the village, but were caught before they could come in, and they were assumed to all have been killed. So everyone is kind of pleased, that this child has been saved. Well, okay, that's a little general. Let's talk about this. When you came to the village, you came through the big gates that were by the bridge. And the people who were, I would say, guarding the gates isn't really the right word. People whose job it is to be near the gates and to monitor, the openings there. They're extremely surprised, particularly since you're strangers. Human strangers don't come from there. Nobody comes down from the mountains who looks like a human. And so it's extremely surprising to them. And so it's not too surprising then that you would be soon meeting with people of importance in the village. But it's clear that you have been, traveling. It's clear that you are, been beaten up a lot. It's clear that you have been having a tough time. So if you look at the map, you will see that there is a fairly complicated walled off area inside the village, probably the original buildings of the settlement. That area is clearly either of some status, but that's not where you go. In fact, nobody mentions it, nobody goes near it, nobody talks about it. Instead, you're brought to all the way through to the right-hand side of the picture, and you'll see another little walled-off area, which actually looks pretty complex. And that area is the main site of religious practice. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. That is not the areas of religious practice. That's the area that seems to serve as a gathering place for people in some kind of governing way. As you walk past, you'll see right in the middle, almost, there is a little grove of trees with a few simple buildings. And that area is where it's not too surprising. You know the culture well enough that you know that's where religious rites would be practiced, is in that open area with all the trees. So if you go all the way through and are finally brought to that area, you'll see there's lots of other useful looking buildings around there. So what are these people like? They are not dressed too similarly to where you're used to. They are deep in the mountains of the borderlands that I've pointed out before, and they culturally seem to have more in common with the other side. So they don't, even though these are these waters will flow down to your side of the mountains, but culturally these people seem to have come from or have the most contact with people from the other side. And they also they also seem to be a little foreign in the way they talk. Their accents are different from the range of accents that you're used to. And it even takes a little bit of effort before you find the place where your dialects overlap. So there are some times when the person says something and you say, oh, well, these people say that kind of stuff really different from me. Let's find some place where our vocabularies do overlap so we can make sense. So you know that you're not really speaking the same way. But they overlap enough so that after a while you get used to listening to each other and can find the simpler phrases that everybody understands. And then they dress differently. They wear leather hats that you haven't seen before, and they have a tendency to wear more layers of clothes than you're used to seeing, especially people from the northern part of the continent, Skava and Urko and Jala. I'm going to say that all of you are used to a lot of skin showing. And over here, people tend to have a little bit more layers. Not a lot of skin showing, just, bare arms are ordinary for you, for example. Whereas for these people, nobody has bare arms. But as far as their way of life is concerned, the architecture, the quality of their clothes, their general health, all of that seems very high end. They do not look like just a little nowhere village, even though it's small. It looks very comfortable. And the food that you're served, the food is definitely different. You're eating some sort of a stew with some sort of large rodent that you may have seen in the forest, a very, very large squirrel. And once you get a bite into, maybe you even shot one and ate it when you were out there in the woods, and you're getting more of it here, cooked up in a big stew. I was going to look up these words in Swedish. Oof, that's too bad. What's it called? Rotkal? Is that what the words for what in English? It's a terrible word. Rutabaga is the vegetable in English.
Can it be rödbeta?
Yeah, it's rödbeta.
Yeah, and
I
then,
believe so.
And then there's let's see. But the point is that just like you would be used to, there's plenty of roots that go into this stew, but they're different. So different colors. They are a slightly different range of food. And they also drink something that you guys are only used to being upper class. But they drink a lot of it, and it's sort of a cheap version, which is tea. So over where you are, tea is something that people drink, in a sort of a classy way. There's not that much of it, and it's probably very, very, very good. Here, it's like it's the cheap stuff in buckets. Everybody has it. So, okay, so then we have some what do they do with you? You are welcomed with some surprise. The first person you'll meet is named Hin, Hinn. This is a woman who is not as big as Zort, but is a big person. At least as tall as Skava, who is tall, and quite, definitely outweighs Skava. And she is treated as something of a leader. People look to her to see how she reacts to things. And she always has a few other people near her. There's just people who make it their business to be around her and do things and wait for suggestions from her. So that's I'm going to put you all at this point at that building that I pointed out. I hope it was obvious at the far right of the picture. It has a little courtyard there and a lot of little peaked roofs. And so at present, you are all being treated very nicely inside there. And the first question is what to do with you. A couple of other things.